Hey folks, Xavier here once again. Hope you enjoyed my revisit review of Captain America Civil War. It's on my channel right now if you want to check it out. Anyway, guys, remember, yeah, well, this is my YouTube channel shirt right here. Yep, leave it McNally 983 with the math profile picture on it. Basically, subscribe to this channel for your subs. You can watch videos on my other channel, but don't subscribe to that one. Stay sub to this one, please. Just letting you know if you want to see me do more videos, more YouTube videos, more reviews, or one day I'll do different videos as well. I would love to, like maybe video game playthroughs or believe I try snack videos or scenes from movies. I did that on my other channel. I like doing different kind of videos on my channel as well, not just movie reviews. But anyway, what I've been doing, guys, on this channel, on my channel right now. Oh, I'm sorry if the quality of the video looks bad. Change the lighting a bit, brighten it up a bit. Sorry. I don't know if it's the video itself or the room. It was a bit foggy in here. Anyway, let's say Captain America Civil War. The revisit review is on my channel now. And what I've been doing, guys, is a superhero marathon on my YouTube channel. And I've been what I call, the 2010s era superhero reviews. These are superhero movies that came out in the years 2010, decades 2010 to 2019. And I am on the year 2016. And I've only got this movie, about three more movies to go after this, I think. Four? Sorry. Yeah, but I think about four more films. Anyway, this is the ninth film in the X-Men franchise. And this was the sequel to, as you say, Deadpool came out the same year. That's an X Men film, because it's part of the X Men films too, I believe. I saw this movie theaters back in 2016, and I regret it. And I rewatched it for this review, and I hated this movie. Dark Phoenix is worse, but I'm talking about 2016's superhero film directed by Bryan Singer and written by Simon Kinberg. That is, and starring James McCoy and Michael Fassbender and Oscar Isaac, and that is X Men Apocalypse. This is going to be a rant. I'm sorry. These next few reviews are going to be rants, by the way, just to let y'all know. Yeah, I hated this movie. I thought it was boring, generic, awful. I hated everything about this film. I hated this movie. I'm sure I hate Dark Phoenix more. Massively entertaining. I disagree with that. Tim Greason. Yeah, but it feels like after this, you didn't really need any more X Men films. Now again, the next year we will get in 2017 we got Logan. Then 2018 we got Deadpool 2, and then 2019 you got Dark Phoenix. I do consider this a sequel to X Men First Class and Days of Future Past. It pretty much is. Yeah. Because you have Rosa Byrne comes back in this movie. She was in X Men First Class. She comes back in this film, so it is, I would say, a sequel. A third installment, pretty much. Sorry for that, but yeah. And again, I just wish that we didn't get no more X Men movies after this. I think Days of Future Past. To me, it felt like it ended everything great. You didn't need any more films, to be honest. But of course, because the MCU makes money, because Captain America Civil War came out the same year. That came out in May. Deadpool came out in February, and those movies were hits, especially Captain America Civil War. That made $1 billion at the box office. Yeah, and the year after, 2014, Avengers: Age of Ultron came out. That made billions of dollars. So Marvel was doing well in the box office. So of course, 20th Century Fox, I guess, wanted to interfere. They just wanted to keep on going, making X-Men movies. Of course, because Days of Future Past made money. That was also a hit. And like I said, MCU films were doing well at the time. You had Ant-Man that came out last year. That did well. Deadpool, like I said, came out this year. So I guess they probably thinking, well, more money is more better, right? Just keep on, getting. They just want a piece of the pie, I guess you could say. They just want to keep on making the X Men films just to make cash. Thankfully, it ended with Dark Phoenix, but they'll figure out some way to keep on making X Men movies. I guarantee it. They'll figure out some way. They ain't gonna stop. And then Sony, of course, in 2018, maybe a year, almost a half a year later after this movie, you got Venom. You got the Venom movies. You got Morbius and Craven the Hunter, which I don't give a crap to see. Probably because they just want to do it because just to make the money. Because Marvel movies are profitable now and make cash, and studios don't care about fans. You can tell this film was rushed. It feels like a rushed movie. Even Bryan Singer directing it, it just, you know, still meant nothing. It's like Bryan Singer just did this, got a good paycheck from studio for doing this film. So, yeah. But anyway, for the production, For X-Men Apocalypse was announced by Bryan Singer in December 2013. 4 Days of Future Past was released to theaters in the same month. So, like I'm saying, it feels rushed because this movie's far like right around the corner, planned ahead. In that same month, though, Simon Kinberg, Dan Harris, and Michael Dougherty were revealed by Singer to be attached to work on the film's story. According to Singer, the film would focus on the origins of the mutants and feature the younger versions of Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Storm. Singer also said that he was considering Gambit and a younger version of Nightcrawler to appear. According to Kinberg, it would take place in 1983 and complete a trilogy beginning with X-Men First Class. In September 2014, 20th Century Fox officially announced that Singer would direct the film. Singer has called the film kind of a conclusion of 6 X-Men films, yet a potential rebirth of younger, new characters, and the true growth of the X-Men. Singer says it will address historical community, meaning the deep past, meaning origins, and things like that. It's something that always intrigued me. When we think about our gods and our history and miracles and powers, Singer said that Apocalypse is the main focus of the film. Kimber said the younger versions of Scott Summers and Jean Grey appear in the film as much as a part of the film as the main cast. He described Summers as a not yet the squeaky clean leader, Storm as a troubled character who is going down the wrong path in life, and Grey as complex, interesting, and not fully mature. Kinberg also said the film delivers on the dramatic story and emotion of the last two films, that it acts like the culmination of the main characters portrayed by Lawrence, McCoy, Fred Bizer, and Hope. Kinberg said that First Class, Days Future Past, and Apollo's Morning trilogy about Mystique explaining she starts First Class on Charles' side and ends up following Eric. Days Future Past, she has her own agenda because Eric is gone. She has her own side of that movie. There's a full circle here. Kinberg was paid $8 million for the writing of the script, the same amount he received for X-Men Days of Future Past. The plot was inspired by the story of The Fall of the Mutants. In October 2014, casting for X-Men Apocalypse began. In November, Singer confirmed that Oscar Isaac will portray Apocalypse. In January 2015, Singer announced that Alexander Shipp, Sophia Turner, Ty Shannon would portray young versions of the characters from Cyclops and Jean. Grace Fulton, who would play Mary Bloomfield, and the DC Cinematic Universe Shazam films, originally auditioned to play Jean Grey, but lost to Turner. We have Mary Bloomfield. I think I might know who they're talking about, maybe. But maybe that would be more interesting than Sophia Turner. Hmm. Ashley Benson was also considered for Jean Grey. That same month, Kinberg confirmed that Rose Byrne will respire her first class role from Myra McTaggart in the film. In February, Cootie Smith McPhee was cast as Nightcrawler. And Mark Singer announced that Glenda Condor was cast as Jubilee Lee. In April, 20 Singer confirmed that Hardy will portray Angel. Olivia Munn will portray Oxlide. Lucas Till will return as Abbott. In May, Singer announced that the Munich Cavan and appear in the film. In July, Hope revealed that on Conan he will return as Josh Helmet returns from Striker. Hugh Jackman confirmed that he would make a cameo appearance as Wolverine Logan. Christopher Robert, filming began on April 27th, 2015 in Canada and late August. The first year production of the film wrapped. Additional filming took place in January 16. Rising Sun Pictures provided the difference from Days of Future Past. The effects for Quicksilver's time-stopping, quick motions effects in the mansion, rescue scene, and also other effects, including when Cyclops splits Professor Xavier's favorite tree in half. Singer claimed that he had a thyroid issue and had to be treated in LA. On March 2015, he announced that John Henry composed X2 and Days of Future Past will return. The visual effects are provided by Moving Pictures and Company. Yeah. For the marketing of the movie, I just remember the trailer coming out. And of course, at the end of X-Men Days of Future Past, I kind of make a reference to it with the pyramid. But the cast, including Hugh Jackman, they all talked about the movie Comic Con. They had M&M chocolates. I don't remember this film being too heavily marketed. Yeah. Well, we had the poster and stuff. I don't remember too much commercials for this film. Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, M&M chocolate. That's what I'm talking about. That's the best you can get for your marketing. Yeah. But the movie had world premiere in London on May 9th, 2016. The film was released in 769 screen across 76 international markets on May 18th. Yeah. Uh, One critic said it's a franchise killing disaster, which I agree with. It's weightless, it's soulless, it's a bore that makes comic book superhero movies look bad and makes me not look forward to the next installment. I agree with that with you on that, Scott Mendelins. Yeah, sorry. Much of what makes one critic says X Men Apocalypse legitimately interesting also makes it frustrating and lopsided. Since singer and screenwriter producers Simon Kimber remain committed to the structure, overlong comic book blockbuster, complete with a climax in which the world has to be saved using as many different colors of energy as possible. It should have got rarities, but it did win some Academy Awards, which I don't get why. That's just me. But for the cast of the movie, yeah, cast of the film. James McCoy returns as Professor Charles Xavier, a mutant who is the world's most powerful telepath. He's the founder of Xavier School for the Gifted Youngsters and leads a team of the mutants known as the X-Men. And again, I didn't care about James McCoy in this film. Michael Fassbender plays Eric Lyncher Magneto, a mutant survivor with the ability to control magnetic fields and manipulate metal. Bill Muller, Bill Montler appears in footage as young Eric from First Class. So we do get flashbacks in this movie from First Class. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen that movie, Valentine's Fields. Yeah, maybe it's just weird stuff outside. Sorry guys, the quality's not the best. But Jennifer Lawrence comes back as Raven Mystique. She's okay here, but it just seems like she's bored most of the time. I'm not. Jennifer Lawrence is a beautiful woman. I'm not gonna complain. But you don't really get Mystique here. What they do with the character is just terrible, in my opinion. She's immune though with shape shifting ability. She can be anybody she wants, and she's good at hand combat as well. Nicholas Hoult as Sam McCoy Beast. He's immune with abilities or feet. He can turn himself into a beast. Blue. Yeah. Rose Byrne as Myra Taggart, a CIA operative who first met and developed feelings for Xavier in Nation First Class, but spoiler, he left her mind. Evan Peters comes back as Peter Maxwell Quicksilver, and James McCoy, let's see. Yeah, he was, of course, in X Men First Class and Days of Future Past. He's fine in that. Yeah. He's in that movie called Split, which I never cared for that. Michael Fassbender, don't care for him as an actor either. I'm sorry. Don't care to see Prometheus. Don't care to see Steve Jobs. Sorry. Jennifer Lawrence, I liked her in the first X Men First Class movie. I thought she was in the I Liked Her in Passengers. That came out the same year as this. I'd rather watch Passengers over this. But that's just me. Yeah. And you should know her for the Hunger Games as well. And of course, she was in Dark Phoenix. Nicholas Hoult, of course, he's going to be playing, I think, Lex Luthor in the new Superman movie, which honestly, I'm not really looking forward to that film. Not a fan of him as an actor, but that's just me. Rose Byrne, not a fan of her too much. I know she had a small part in Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. And she was in the internship with Falling in Love with Owen Wilson's character. She was alright in that. Again, just not a fan of her. Evan Peters, I think he was in the first Kick Ass movie. Yeah, not the sequel though, yeah. He's playing a supporting role in there. Yeah. He was real good in this movie. He was the best thing about this film, in my opinion. Yeah. So, and Josh Holm as Colonel William Stryker, who hates meanness. He saw him in Days of Future Past. Sophia Turner Grey, a great British actress. I didn't really care for her performance in here. I prefer Fakim Jamez. Fakim Jamez to me is a lot better, and for her age is more beautiful. Yeah, she's in Game of Thrones, and honestly, I don't care to see Game of Thrones. Never gonna watch that show. Ty Sheridan as Scott Summers Cyclops. I mean, he was the lead in Ready Player One. He's alright as an actor, I guess. Not really much of a fan of him. Lucas Till as Summers Havoc. Immediate has the ability to absorb energy and releases, Ty Sheridan plays the owner. He's a man who fires a strike of octobeams, from his eyes. Cyclops can't look at you without destroying you. And Cody Smith McPhee as Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler. Lucas Till, let's see. He's a monster truck, so I heard that movie flop when it came back in 2016. And The Spy Next Door, he was in that as well. Played a villain in that. Bad movie with Jackie Chan. Uh, Cody McPhee, I didn't care for him at all. Honestly, the makeup I thought was terrible. Yeah, I prefer Alan Cumming, as the character next to. Ben Hardy as Angel, did not care for him. I prefer Ben Foster. Did not care for this guy at all. As on the ship, Alexandria Ship as Monroe Storm. She has a good accent, but I didn't care for her. I'm sorry. I prefer Holly Berry. Yeah, I'll take her in her cheesy dialogue over this any day. Lana Condor as Jubilee. I heard Jubilee is supposed to be like. I need to watch X Men animation. I got Disney Plus on my TV here. I need to watch that. I heard Jubilee's a pretty cool character, but they don't do nothing cool with Jubilee. Jubilee's just here for fan service, and that's it. You know, Olivia Munn as Psychic, a mutant with personality abilities, which is a cool ability. Olivia Munn, beautiful actress, but she's been in crappy movies, not just like this, but year before this came out, she was in Mordecai with Johnny Depp, and that was an awful movie. She was in The Predator in 2018, and that sucked. Yeah. Beautiful actress, though. I'm not complaining. Yeah, but not much to her character in here, in my opinion. I'll get to the reasons why later. Oscar Isaac as Adna Silver Newer, who's like back in the Egyptian day. He's Apocalypse. He's the first mutant born in ancient times, and he's the world's first mutant. He has a chart of superhuman abilities, including telekinesis, teleportation, generation, ability, argument, to augment other mutants' abilities. Oscar Isaac, of course, you should know him as Poe from the Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Don't like that movie, but he was good in it for those first minutes of the movie. Should have been. He should just start in the Star Wars movie. It'd been more entertaining to watch. If they would have not had James, if they wouldn't have Kathleen Kennedy involved or J.J. Abrams, a different kind of Star Wars movie we would have got with him in it. I think it would have worked. And he voiced Gomez Adams in the Adams Family, the 2019, the 2019, and the sequel that came out I think in 2021 or 2022. Adams Family 2. He voiced Gomez Adams, which I thought he was pretty good in that. Yeah, and I like him as Poe. It's just that he's not in very good movies in Star Wars. Not saying he's an awful actor. And funny, you have Ali Sheedy. I can't say her name right. But if you've seen The Breakfast Club, if you remember the shy girl, Ali Sheedy makes a cameo in here as Scott Summers' teacher, which I'm like, that's Ali Sheedy. That's pretty cool. But I'm sure she got a good check for being in here. And Stan, like I said, Hugh Jackman also has a cameo in the film. Brian Singer, I guess, is a cameo, but I don't honestly. You blink and you miss it. Logan Wolverine, in his Weapon X form. Yes, he does have a cameo. Which element was cool, but and Stan Lee and his wife Joan B. Lee. She sadly passed away back in 2017 as well. They have a cameo in here as well, and Stan Lee is also an executive producer on this movie, and that's the cast of your film. And the film is directed once again by Brian Singer. Now again, I do appreciate Brian Singer in the early days in 2000 and 2003 making the first X-Men movie, X2, X2 X-Men United. In my opinion, it's still the best X-Men movie ever. Some of you might say Days of Future Past, but my favorite X-Men movie will always be X2 X-Men United. Yeah, but I did not care for his direction in this film. Yeah, yeah, the sexual allegations I actually do believe. I think he is somewhat of a pedophile. But you know what? I'm not gonna call him that. I'm not gonna get into that argument. But but it's written by Michael Dougherty and Dan Harris, who again, let's see. Oh, they wrote X2 when I'm like, and Superman Returns, and Superman Returns that they had that good writing. He wrote Godzilla King of Monsters, Godzilla versus Kong, and yeah. I didn't care for Godzilla King of Monsters. I thought that sucked. Superman Returns is lackluster, meh. The best film I think he wrote was X2. Dan Harris, let's see, did he do the same? Also wrote X2 X Men United, which again I love. Superman Returns and this movie. It's based on X Men created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Apocalypse created by Louis Thompson and Jackson Coos. It's produced by Simon Kinberg. Kinberg, I believe, would also go on to direct. Well, he wrote X Men Last Stand. Yay. So I don't like X Men Last Stand, and mainly because one of the reasons I him because I think him and Zach Penn are crappy writers, in my opinion. Well, he wrote the Incredible, but that's good. But X Men Last Stand, not gonna give that. I'm not gonna say he's a full crappy writer, but he did write some crappy movies like Inspector Gadget. Electra. Okay, I shouldn't even be mentioning this guy because sorry. Again, X Men Last Stand, anything like that. Jumper was good. That's underrated. Didn't care for First Class. I think that's overrated. Love Days of Future Past and he wrote Fantastic Four 2015, which again I don't mind that movie. I'd rather watch it over this. You know, and he wrote Deadpool, which you know, did he write it? Yeah, no producer on Deadpool, which Deadpool was great. And of course, after this, he went on to go work on Logan, be producer on Logan, Deadpool 2, and of course directed Dark Phoenix. And I'm like, and thankfully oh my god, he directed 355. Why is he getting directing jobs? I don't get it. Yeah, yeah, Dark Phoenix was a box office bomb, and I can see why. Yeah, and Laura Cheryl Donner, she of course is the wife of Richard Donner, who of course gave us our first big superhero movie ever, Superman the movie. And the reason why we get superhero films today is because of that film. I just want to say rest in peace, Gene Hackman. I know that he sadly recently died. I've heard, it's a bit suspicious death. What happened to him, his wife, and his dog. And again, my prayers go out to Gene Hackman and his family. I got to do a video about that probably. A little tribute video for him sometime. But films that anyway that she's produced is like, oh, she produced Mr. Mom. Oh, she did. That's with Michael Keaton. Before he went on to become play Batman. And I think even before he worked with Tim Burton. Free Willy and Free Willy 2 The Adventure. You've got Mel. The first two X Men movies, X Men 2. Constantine, which I like. X Men Last Stand. She produced that. X Men Wolverine. First Class. The Wolverine. Days of Future Past. Deadpool. This movie. Logan. Deadpool 2. Dark Phoenix. The New Mutants and Deadpool Wolverine most recently. It's cinematography by Newton Thomas Siegel, who did cinematography for Blank Man, which is also a superhero movie, but that was 1994, about 30 years ago. The first X Men movie. X-Men United, Superman Returns, Days of Future Past, this movie. And he did not do an X-Men movie after this. Edited by John Ottoman, and also the music is by him as well. He did the music for The Usual Suspects, Superman Returns. There's John Williams score for Superman in there. Did he do the music for, let's see. Either that he did the editing. No, he did the music for The Cable Guy. Starring Jim Carrey, Matthew Broderick, and Lake Placid. A Lady Freaks, which I like. This movie X2, which is my favorite cellular. Not superhero movies. Fantastic and Superman Returns, Fantastic Four, and Fantastic Four: Rise of the Surfer, 2005 and 2007. Music is by John Adams, by him as well. Production companies: 20th Century Fox, Marvel Entertainment, Bad Hat Harry Productions, Kingburn Genre, The Donner's Company, distributed by 20th Century Fox. It was released May 27th, 2016. It's 144 minutes long, about 2 hours and 24 minutes. The budget is $178 million. The box office, it made $543.9 million worldwide. So yeah, it might have made money, but it was not big of a hit as Captain Marvel Civil War. Captain Marvel. Captain America Civil War was. Even Captain Marvel, I'm sure, made more money than this. Brie Larson. Anyway, let me talk about the plot synopsis of the movie. Yay. And this looks like it's gonna be rap. If you like this movie, that's fine too, which is wrong. I don't get it. I don't get what's to like about it. And I know I'm gonna hate Dark Phoenix too, but that will not be happening until I get to the year 2019, which will be the last years of the 2010s era superhero reviews. Will be 2019. Anyway, the story of the movie is that the character who is whatever his damn Egyptian name is, I don't care. Apocalypse. He's been worshipped as a god since the dawn of a civilization, since BC, before Christ is what I'm trying. BC, I think that's what it means. He's the immortal Apocalypse, played by Oscar Isaac. He becomes the first and most powerful mutant ever. Awakening after thousands of years, about 10,000 years, he wakes up in 1983, I believe. He recruits his disheartened Magneto and other mutants to create a new world order. Basically, he wants to kill billions of people. He wants to tear down the world, kill billions of people, build it in his own image, and to be worshipped. And as the fate of the earth hangs in the balance, Professor X and Raven, they have lead a team of young X-Men that is led of the young Scott Summers, Jean Grey, uh, Nightcrawler, and Beast, of course, as well, played by Nicholas Hoult. Come before together to come as the X-Men, and they they have to stop. They have to stop their similarly invincible nemesis, and they have to stop and defeat Apocalypse before he destroys mankind, before he destroys the entire world. And the X Men have to stop him once and for all, take him down. Again, I'm gonna talk about the movie itself and then give my final opinion later on it. Yeah. If I look at my phone too much, I'm sorry, but I fell asleep watching this movie. I'll watch the prep for this review. Yeah. So this will be a rant. So if you're not gonna like it, don't watch the review. If you don't, yeah. But there are spoilers in this review too. So if you have not seen X Men Apocalypse from 2016, don't watch this review. Yeah. Ooh. Olivia Munn does look gorgeous there, but again, eye candy does. I mean, oh, that eye candy for yeah, I know the actress is played Emma Frost. Yeah, but she was just eye candy. January Jones, just eye candy, and that was it. You know. So anyway, the film opens up in 3060 BC before Christ. You have an aged number Sue who's about to make her transform into a younger mutant's body inside a technology advanced pyramid that works off the sunlight. They're following him, they're like worshiping him, singing a song, and you know, this is like in Egypt times, so like 10,000 years ago, and basically his former, they, his some of his leaders, not leaders, but some of his followers betray him, and they attempt to destroy the pyramid, but they fail because it's like in the Bible, the four horsemen of the apocalypse. They destroy them. It's bad editing, but I did like this one scene though, where when one guy tries to like stab him, and someone uses their powers and you know crushes his torso, is able to like choke it or whatever. Anyway, he ends up on the ground, more on the ground, buried. The pyramid collapses. He's still alive, but he's trapped in a cosmic tidal state. He's just, passed out with all these rocks and all the debris falling on him. Then the opening credits roll, which, again, it's not straight the X-Men theme, but the credits even didn't really seem to astound me that much. And then we get into the year 1983, about 10,000 years later. I believe so. Or 1,000 years later, whatever. And there's this teacher played by Ali Sheedy. You know, you have Scott Summers who's there, and Scott, his eyes just messing up. He's like, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And I don't know where to go to the principal's office. Ali says he plays, cameos as the principal. I mean, not the principal, a freaking teacher, talking about mutants and how they're involved by Magneto. You know, oh, Magneto's going to hiding, which I'll get into more of that later. But Scott goes to the bathroom. This guy's like, thinks that he's like, why are you looking at my girlfriend? He tries to go to the bathroom. He's like, come on, someone else in there. Come on, kick your ass. Come on. And he uses the beams coming out of his eyes. Thankfully, it doesn't kill the guy, and could have because it's like the bathroom door was shielding him from Scott Slash. Scott like, ugh, and he gets in trouble from school, and he gets into Xavier's school for the gifted, and Xavier, just open your eyes, Scott. Okay, he does, and he ruins the tree. That did get a chill out of me a little bit when he ruins the tree. Like that's my favorite tree. Sorry, let's go over on our reviews. But you have Moira Taggart. You see Rose Burns once again in Egypt. She witnessed a group of followers chanting for Apocalypse, and she stupidly opens yeah the rug. She just knocks this guy out, opens up the rug, so she's playing Indiana Jones basically. And in doing that, they do more of the chant. Then the sun comes up. The sun overflows to his coffin and it wakes him up. And she's trying to get out of there, and now his followers die, gets upon the rocks, and she was some survives in a unrealistic way. They all die in CGI land, rock land, but she miraculously survives out of there. I'm like, okay. Even though I could have sworn she got hit by some rocks too, but the hell, comic book movie, so she survives it. Yeah. Then he meets a street thief named Owen Monroe, who's being threatened by a man she stole from because she used her like Storm used her powers to create like a little wind. This is a young Storm. The actress, I didn't mind her voice, but I didn't like her hairdo, to be honest. Say what you will, but Holly Berry, I think, had better hairdo and looked more beautiful and didn't have a ridiculous accents. You know what? Screw it. I don't like the accent. I don't like these younger versions of the characters. You know, who cares? How I don't really care to see a young Scott Summers, Storm, and Jean Grey. I don't need to see younger versions of them. I already got that next time last time I'm seeing young Jean Grey, which is fine. Yeah, but he interviews. He kills the man off. He like uses sand to rip their heads off, which I'm not really. And then traps the guy in the sand. Yay! Why don't you just use your somewhat powers? I don't know too much about powers, but if he's a powerful mutant, can he do it better without sand? And he's just like, oh, yeah, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. And she takes to her house as like, you know, talks about why is the world like this? The world needs to be locked down. But there are laws and systems you can't do that. And he finds out about the world's problems, how the world is, because he says to like, he's like, what are you doing? He's like, learning. Must defeat, like. And after seeing that, he says he wants to destroy the world, so he's no real big motive of it. You know, he's curious about the way his world become because mankind has lost his way through years of conflict and disasters. So he says, "Okay, well, I'm just going to kill everybody, make the world extinct." We've ever seen this before. He wants to see the world. Avengers: Age of Ultron. Ultron was a better villain, and James Spader was creepy and scary, and even humorous and had a dark sense of humor. Apocalypse is just Oscar Isaac is just terrible. One guy said in his review, I think it was probably the 1051, that he looked like Ivan News. Ivan News was a lot more entertaining than this. Yeah, he's fun and over the top and makes jokes, but he's more entertaining. Ivan News looks more like the threat. You know. Sorry, but not all the CGI is good in here either. You, know, you can say my more Power Rangers, yeah, it has dated stuff in it, but despite that, it can still be an entertaining movie. It didn't bore me, and it didn't feel it wasn't over 2 hours and 24 minutes long. Yeah, and it didn't piss me off. You know, I can take it for what it is. So he wants to create the world in his own image. So and he touches Storm, like makes her a bit more powerful. Tells her she's gonna be winning the power. Yeah, he just touches her, and they goes with this one unit. I forgot to mention. You see Jennifer Lawrence, Mystique, who is not Mystique for most of the movie. Yeah. Oh yeah, most of the movie she's like this. She's glue only half the time. You don't really see Mystique in this movie at all. Barely. Her as Mystique. She's like, oh, I'm no hero. After, she saved the President of the United States. And now, I mean, just look up to her, but she's like, no, I don't want to be a hero. Jennifer Lawrence is alright in this movie, but it seems like she was great in First Class, even though I don't like that movie. She was good in First Class, I thought. In Days of Future Past, especially, but in this movie, it seems like she's just bored. Nightcrawler. Oh, we get a Fight Club scene. A scene with a cage of fight. I'm like, where have we seen this before? Let's find 2000. Wolverine. But you get Nightcrawler fighting Angel. He doesn't want to fight. Actually, hurts one of his wings. Uh, she's able, put like a dress on the shot. The guy's like, oh, it's okay. And then, knocks him out. Gives him an uppercut. Just uppercut. Knocks the guy out. Turns the power off. And stays with him. Grabs Nightcrawler. Pretends, because Nightcrawler's ever called him out. There, this guy's like right behind him. She knocks him out. And she, of course, Mystique can transfer to a big man, to a big guy, and says, he went that way. He's like, we went that way, yes. And she takes him to the school. And, like I said, I already mentioned about Scott being there. Scott also met Jean Grey. I didn't care about Sophia Turner and her accent or whatever. I did not care for her as a character at all. But she can read his mind, knows who he is. Knows who he is. Oh, because he's Havoc's brother. Yeah. Yeah. And by the meanwhile, Eric Lyncher established a new life with his new wife, which again I don't it doesn't make any sense. I would think he's sitting there doing a speech. If you've seen Days of Future Past, remember when he was about to kill the president, when he got the president captured and he was making the Munich speech about we need to band together, and stuff. Yeah, I'm like, I figured he'd have an army of mutants right now, but no. Brian Singer just writes him to be a family man. And the worst thing about watching this movie in theaters, though, I had to read a lot of subtitles, and that was irritating. And he just goes home to work, and he sees his daughter sings to her. Again, I didn't care about Magneto being a family man. If you wanted to do this, maybe you could have added it in a Magneto movie, X-Men Origins Magneto movie, or something like that. But no, it's just I didn't really care for the family aspect. I'm sorry, it just didn't do nothing for me. Uh, he works like in a factory or whatever. Just if there was gonna an accident almost happens, some guy gets like a boulder, not a boulder, but something metal that almost falls in. Of course, Magneto uses his powers and saves the guy. And he frays somebody by seeing his power, so he's shot. He tells his family, "We need to run. We need to get out of here. We need to get out of Dodge." And his wife goes into the daughter's room. She's not there. And there are these men. For some reason, the ones that have his daughter, if they're like cops, okay. They say, "Is this you?" Magneto's like, "Yes, that's me. That's not me anymore." He's like, "I'll go with you. I'll be arrested." And his daughter has powers too. It's just like from when I heard Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are his children. Spoiler alert! Yeah, Quicksilver, the character Quicksilver played by Peter, yeah, he's Magneto's son, which he never tells him in the movie. But if this is like a young Scarlet Witch, maybe I don't know, but it doesn't matter because she does this power thing with the animals and some idiot guard or whatever not paying attention, having an arrow just whoops lifts his finger slip and the arrow shoots at turn off they're hugging each other. And she's like says, "It's okay, sweetie." He whoops, just not looking. Whoop. Oh, shoots the arrow at them. And Magneto gave his daughter these pictures of his parents as like a necklace. And it's metal, of course, it's like this. He uses it, his power, and it like puts on the throat to kill all of them. And I swear to God, like I said, Michael Fassbender acting, it's just overacting. It's like, why God, why me? Why do you want me to be this way? Why? Why? Like, it's just irritating. Uh, Apocalypse goes to Olivia Nunn's character. I guess Jennifer wants how to make a deal with him to get out of there. I don't really care. I don't care about who this guy is, but Olivia Nunn, he's able to use his powers on her and make her one of his followers. You know, again, she's a good actress. I think Olivia Nunn's a beautiful actress, but they don't do much for their here. To me, it felt like they didn't give her a character arc. They just made her eye candy. You know, because that's what these movies do sometimes. Not with all. I'm not talking about like Halle Berry and freaking Jamel. Well, they didn't give Storm much to do, but Storm, I felt like they could have done better. But still, I liked Halle Berry enough. I felt that they kind of did make her a leader in X Men Last Stand. They give her a bit more to do. Again, I know Halle Berry couldn't do much in Days of Future Past because she was pregnant at the time, and it's a shame they didn't make an X Men movie with the older cast. I prefer that over this, but that's just me. Anyway, like I said, Raven goes to the school. She's there to talk about Eric. Yeah, I guess she found out about him on TV. She's like, "Hey Charles, but he's right. The world is a bad place. The world's a bad place." And he's like, "You're talking like Eric." And she says that his family was murdered. Yeah, and you know, Professor X, Xavier, disappointed learns about Apocalypse. You know, by using Cerebro, he's like, "Oh, she looks good. She looks crazy. Like, I should grab her to check out. They check out the situation." He makes everybody free so they can get in there. They talk to Rose Byrne. She doesn't remember him though, because remember the kissing her, he wiped her mind out in the first class, but she doesn't know him or Alex. But they meet each other. He says that he's got high classification and he tells them about units. That he was born 10,000 years ago. That he's the world's first unit. Very powerful. Like I said, Hank calls me Jean Grey. Nevertheless, Hank gives him these sunglasses to control his abilities, where he can open his eyes. That helps him. Eventually, Nightcrawler dresses up like Michael Jackson's Thriller, just like Michael Jackson has that red jacket on. Along with Jubilee, they go to watch a movie. They go to watch Return of the Jedi, and Gene says, "Well, it's always the third movie. You know what? No, Gene, this is what I think. You Return of the Jedi is a great movie. Yes, I love Return of the Jedi. Now I think about it, Return of the Jedi is probably my favorite Star Wars film. Now I think about it, of the original Jedi. I know it was Empire, but I'm thinking more of Return of the Jedi. But I love Return of the Jedi. No, X-Men Apocalypse. This would be the third film. I'm sorry. If you want to count it, I would say Dark Phoenix. Yeah, I know your third film came in Dark Phoenix chain. You know, that's the worst third film ever. Yeah, I hate that line too. Yeah, eventually, after getting Olivia Nunn, she goes to second horseman Pestilence. Also, he goes to see the Angel character, gives Angel more strong, makes him more stronger. Don't care if Angel was a blank character in this movie. They didn't do much with the Man Last Stand, which sucks. But here, I didn't care about that who played him. You know, Eric goes to work, uses his powers to open the door, tells him someone, told, so he tells the police, tell me my family, and because of you, my family's been killed. And you're going to learn, some of you even have your own father, your own mothers and daughters, and you're going to learn to lose someone. So he's going to kill them. And like, Eric, don't, they think his name is Henrik. He's like, my name is not Henrik, it is Magneto. And he's so close to killing him, but Apocalypse transports along with Angel and Olivia, Olivia Nunn and Storm. They transport, and he was like, I did think it was funny though when Magneto says, "Who the fuck are you?" Tells him who he is, and he's like, "I want to kill you." He's like, "I didn't come to kill you. I came to ask for your help and assistance." He's like, "You were born here, you know. Where were you?" It was like, "I was rotting in, but I can help you change the world. We change the world together." And he convinces him. He takes her to the camp that he was at as a kid when he got taken away from his parents. Brings him back. He's like, you feel the middle of the ground. He's like, do this. And it works. And again, over the top acting when he's like this. About in this scene right here, I would say. And they will rise. And we will build a new world. Yeah, yeah. Everything they built will fall. And rise another one. It's a perfect world. Yeah, and Magneto's, like, just Michael finds it, you know, like he's constipated or something. Yeah. So anyway, with Myra there, the group try to use CD Bro to find Eric. It does work, and Eric's like, I'm so sorry for your loss, man. You understand that, Charles? And they try to talk, and Apollo's like, thank you for letting me in. And Apollo gets in his mind and is able to get, use the Charles's mind to connect with him to get to all the world's nukes, and is gonna try to kill people there. But it doesn't work. It's like everything they will fall. He's screaming again, and I'm like, oh my gosh. He's screaming and being over the top again. It doesn't work. But Charles passes out. They kidnap Xavier. The school gets blown up. Alex dies, but Quicksilver, Peter, Evan Peters. This is the most fun scene in the movie. I do like the scene where he's saving people. He runs in there and saves everybody. He's supposed to throw some of them in the pool. Saves a dog that's eating a pizza, which I thought was funny. Fixes a guy's hair. That was the entertaining scene in the movie. Most entertaining scene in this entire movie. That was the best scene in this entire film, in my opinion. But he saves them, and they say, they see mistake, and they say, they look up to you. She's like, no, I'm not a hero. And they say, well, you changed my life. But anyway, they think they're going to get help, but it's actually William Stryker. And that's where Jennifer Lawrence face is like, no. Her face is just really over the top and funny when she yells like that. I was laughing. If they get shot down or whatever, they like this electric field or whatever to pass them out. You know, they take, Stryker picks one to take, at least one of the kids there. Uh, Scott runs to his brother and finds his brother's dad is upset. So Scott, Jean, and Nightcrawler hide. Jean's able to use her powers to make them look invisible. Nightcrawler uses, just teleports them. They get to this base that Stryker has. I also forgot to mention though, they did have a scene where Jean was dreaming of Apocalypse coming and the world coming to an end. He's like, no, it's not real, Jean. Yeah, trying to calm all his students down. Yeah, but the Stryker captured Quicksilver, Myra, and Beast. If you're like, we can't have him here, he's like, well, legally, I can't have you. Has them in the cell. Probably gonna do some tests on them. They're suspected of the attack. They get to Stryker's Weapon X facility, island, or whatever. Or, if you've seen X2 United, that's where they go. And they're sneaking around, they're hiding. And they hear this man in there. I forgot when those weapons were going off. You see the late Joan Lee and the late Stan Lee, in a cameo watching that. It's nice to see Stan Lee in a cameo in this movie. But then you have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Chief frees him, Wolverine slaughters them. It would be nice to see some blood and gore in there, but since this film is PG-13, you don't get that. You would not get a bloody Wolverine movie until next year, 2017, with Logan, where you would see some blood and gore and stuff. But you wouldn't get into Logan the next year. But in this movie, it's cool to see. I'll admit that it's cool to see Wolverine is weapon action and stabbing at people, but Brian Singer, they cut away from it. Literally cut away from it. And it's like he's about to attack them and starts about to attack. But she calms Wolverine down, you know, gives him about a piece of his memories, reads Logan's mind, and he just, runs out into the snowy, runs out into the snow, and just runs away. Yeah. Second best thing about this movie, Hugh Jackman's cameo. Then after that, Nightcrawler was able to get into their see where Myra, Quicksilver, and Mystique and them are at, along with Beast. Again, Hank, who is avoids the Beast from taking pills. I do like the way Beast looks in this movie. Not gonna lie, but they get them out of there by transporting them. I forget how, or well, no, I'm sorry, not transfer. They don't tell about them. Cyclops like breaks down the door with his glasses, and Xavier, Apocalypse is able to use him through his mind to give a message to the entire world that he's going to destroy the world and all that stuff. Like I've never seen Xavier capture before. X2 X-Men United and using his mind control power to be like in another dimension almost, or the freaking being kind of like an Inception kind of way. Okay, I've seen that with X2 X-Men United. That was a lot better with Xavier being captured. Yeah, but it's like we haven't seen that before. Hmm. Where they try to use his powers to use Cerebro. Yeah, so like we haven't seen that before, right? They steal these tactical fight suits. They say we can use this. They drop fly with the plane. Go save Charles. Magneto uses his powers to control the magnetic poles, causing a widespread destruction across the planet. And Apocalypse confronts Xavier and the Astro plane, intending to possess him. And if he does that, he can pretty much, using Professor Xavier's mind, he could destroy the whole planet, kill billions of people. Raven and Quicksilver, they want to help Eric receive his ways. She's trying to say, fight what you fight for. You have me, Charles, and you have, but of course, Quicksilver doesn't say, "I'm your son." He says, I'm your family too." I'm like, you just said I'm your son. Yeah, you do have Aliman. Aliman with that sword she has, that's pretty cool. And she uses like a whip, and they fight Storm, who's helping them too. You know, but she's using her power like electric powers. And Scott, they're like throwing their beams. He throws their beams of lightning. Her beams of lightning, and his beams from his eyes are shooting at each other. And I did like the scene where, uh, oh man, I kind of some decent action here, but again, I've seen the Avengers movies that have better action in them, especially Age of Ultron. A lot more exciting action than this, where Beast fights with Olivia Nunn. Olivia Nunn gets knocked out, I guess, or whatever. The X-Men try to get out of there. They do grab Charles, but they have to get out of the plane because they destroy the plane. I do like it when Quicksilver punches, is able to, quickly punch around like a punching bag. Makes Hulk like a punching bag. He's able to punch him around a bit. But he's able to like break his leg, about to kill him. And when he sees Angel die, he's like, useless. And he picks up, and thinks it's living now, but it's actually Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, about to choke and kill her. He's about to attack them, but Magneto stops him. He's like, you did think Magneto's using his powers on him, but he still needs help. And he's like, and he's Xavier's like fighting him in the playing field. of the other one is mind finding him. He's like, "Thank you for letting me in." Xavier says, and he fights with him, but he's just a giant and is really about ready to kill him. But he's been in his body for centuries. Yeah, and he's like, "Jean, unleash your power." She does. Jean leads her power of the Phoenix, and it destroys him. And the X Men, and Storm eventually uses her electricity, use power of the thunder, lightning to destroy him, and Sky uses beams and they destroy him, turns into bones, ashes, and Xavier loses hair. And he realizes that there's always going to be threats. Humans immune to like and decides to train his students to become X-Men. Xavier transmits memories and they develop a relationship, I guess. But apparently she's not so because she's not an X-Men Dark Phoenix, so nothing ever happens out of that. I'm surprised she didn't get mad about that. Xavier never reaffirmed their friendship, though Eric departs again, saying that he's still going to be Magneto, be villain from years to come. Peter and Storm, they join the team, but they don't want to. He doesn't tell he's Eric's son yet, which I don't know why. And all the new X Men is, of course, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Beast, and Storm, and Nightcrawler, Quicksilver, and Mystique. And Mystique becomes the X Men. Like, thank you everything you know, and they begin to have a train session. And not Magneto, Professor X is looking at them. Well, before we get that though, when Eric and they were talking, the lines like, "Hey Charles, we're gonna do one day when they come after your children, when they come to your school." Was like, I feel so sorry, for the pity for the soul that tries to come to this school looking for trouble. Like, where have I heard this line before? Oh, X Men 2000, the first film, X2, yeah, and it actually happened in X2. So I'm like, why are you still repeating that line? I've heard that line before. But anyway, Charles looks at them as the doors closes, and then the end credits roll. It's a group of Sentinels. I didn't care to see the end credit scene or whatever. I don't remember it, but that's the end of the film, and that's X Men Apocalypse. So anyway, let me give my final thoughts on this movie. Yeah, I really did fall asleep through most of it. Okay. Again, I hated this movie. I thought this film freaking sucked. Hmm. Why do I think this movie sucks? Well, for one, I think it's a boring movie. I think it's one of the worst superhero films ever made. I think it's one of the worst X-Men films out there. I would say Dark Phoenix is probably the worst, but this would definitely be probably second, I would think. For me, at least. I know you say X-Men vs. Wolverine. This is just as boring as that movie. I think the story sucks. I think Apocalypse was a shitty villain. He was an interesting. As soon as the movie started off with his origin, I didn't care. It just didn't interest me. I was just so ready. As I was watching this movie, I was just thinking to myself, is this going to be over yet? Is this movie over yet? You know, because I'm getting bored out of my mind. I actually was bored out of my mind. Yeah, Olivia Nunn. Oh yeah, she has nothing to do with it. She just walks away, and you never see her again. So yeah, Brian Singer. It seems like he didn't give a crap. I don't know. Brian Singer did such a good job directing the first X movie. It seems at the time he just did not care to do another X Men movie, or he was just doing it for a paycheck. Yeah, I'd rather watch Superman Returns over this. That movie has problems too, but despite that, I can still watch it. I mean, at least I have the plane scene and some cool shots of Superman flying, and the some of the action and stuff is too decent. I did think it was messed up the story, but the thing is though, Kevin Spacey, you know, even though he did remind me of like Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor, at least it had a plot, at least it had a story. I didn't like the way it was going, but it didn't piss me off enough like this film did. And Superman Returns didn't bore me like this did. Yeah. But anyway, I thought Simon Kimber, who probably even wrote the story for this movie, I'm sure. Yeah. The script is terrible. You didn't need two writers on this film. The directing, the cinematography did look nice. I'll admit the film did look nice. That's what I'll give it. The editing, the action scenes were decent, but nothing too exciting. And it's nice to hear the music score. That's what I'll give it. But for one, I hate the cast. I don't like James McCoy as Xavier. I don't like Michael Fassbender. Jennifer Lawrence, which is for this movie, she's not really Mystique. You know, she's not really in blue. For most of the movie, she is like this. You don't see her Mystique to the climax of the film for real. And it's just boring to sit through. I didn't care about the new X Men. I didn't care about, you know, the only character, I didn't care about Sophia Turner in this film. I didn't care about all that. I didn't care about the generation or Storm. I did not care about them at all. This film was boring. I fell asleep through middle way. The acting can be really over the top and silly. Like the Jennifer Lawrence face when Strider was like, oh, or everything they built will fall, and I'm like, it's just his screaming is very annoying and over the top, and so is Michael Fassbender just, God, why you're right, I'm like, oh my god, dude, are you gonna have an aneurysm or something? Are you having an orgasm or something? You know, is I mean, you gotta go to the bathroom that badly or something like that because you're just acting so funny and over the top. I'm just laughing. I don't care that the first one, I didn't like the story for this movie. I didn't care for the story for Apocalypse. It was uninteresting and boring. You could have saved this for a last X Men movie. What they should have done in Days of Future Past, you should have had, I'm sure the road cut is better than this movie. You should have had the older cast come back. I would prefer that, to be honest. Why? Why not have that? It doesn't have to be Brian Singer, but actually get a good director, make an X Men movie, and have them face Apocalypse. Those stakes would have been a lot higher and more interesting. But this film, I don't care about the younger. I don't care to see how they became the characters. How Professor X and how Eric Luncher, became, how Charles Xavier became a Professor X, and how Eric Luncher became Magneto, and how much. I'm like, I just don't care about these younger versions. Yeah. Or if you want to count it as a third film, this is terrible. Yeah, Return of the Jedi is better. And with Sophia Turner saying Return of the Jedi, it's always the third one's that worst. Return of the Jedi is a lot better and a masterpiece compared to this. You know, that didn't bore me, and that film didn't even. Yeah, you can say it's a bit 2 hours as well, but it didn't bore me. It kept me invested. It had the stakes were high in that movie. This movie, the stakes are not that high, and the villain is not interesting at all. This is a very bland, forgettable. I'm gonna use the word generic. Yes, generic. It's awful. It's so boring to sit through. The villain is lame. I don't care about those. I like Olivia Nunn. Very beautiful actress, but again, she was in Mordecai. That was a terrible movie. Her acting was terrible in that movie. The Predator, I didn't care about her acting in that movie. She was alright, but The Predator sucked as well for 2018. I thought it sucked. We get a Predator dog in that movie. Yay. Anyway, I'm just spitballing here. Back to X Men Pulse. Again, the direction, the writing, the story itself sucked. And I don't like X Men First Class. I don't think we needed a prequel to X Men. Who cares? You know. Again, we didn't need another X Men film, in my opinion. But I think they did it because, again, the MCU, Captain America, like I said, Deadpool came out the same year. Deadpool made more money than this, I think about $700 million something dollars. But Deadpool was a hit, yeah, yeah, yeah. Deadpool made about it only had $58 million of a budget, and it made $782 million worldwide. So Deadpool was a huge hit, and Deadpool made more money than this. It tells you a lot, you know. Then I think in 2020 we got New Mutants, which it looks like that film was a flop. Thank God, and we're not getting any more. Hopefully, we're not going to get no more X Men films. Don't make any more Fox. I don't want any more X Men films. I'm glad Craven the Hunter flopped. I hope it did because I don't want to. They just keep on throwing these films out here. The studios like 20th Century Fox or Sony, they keep ruining it. They keep on throwing things in there. If you want to do something with these characters, just give these characters. I'm not so sure about the Fantastic Four movie now. I would have supported it if in 2015 they did give they should have given the MCU, and they should give this film to the MCU. They should give the X Men back to the MCU. I know it's hard for the newer cast too because they're older now, but still, at least I have X Men 1 and 2, so I'm not complaining. I got the Wolverine, I got Logan, Deadpool 1 and 2, so I think I'm just happy with that. But this is one of the worst X Men films up there with, I would say, X Men Last Stand, Origins Wolverine, First Class, and I would say Dark Phoenix as well. New Mutants, I got a feeling I'm going to hate that too. And I hated this movie as well. And I'm going to hate Dark Phoenix. So sorry, folks. I don't like this movie. I don't care for them. They're just not for me. If you like it, cool. If you enjoy X Men Apocalypse, more power to you. You know. Oh, yeah. And when I forget to mention Alex Summers, Havoc dies. And when he says, Alex free Havoc, that was a cheesy one, and stupid. This movie was just boring to sit through. And it's a film I never watched again. But what I did like Quicksilver. I thought Quicksilver was cool. They should just make a Quicksilver movie with Evan Peters, and that'd be more cool. Because his character can be funny. Loved it when he saves, in the X Mansion. It is cool though when Magneto uses his powers, and Sophie Turner, when him and Jean rebuild it by using their telekinesis powers and stuff, which was cool. And Magneto, who control metal, rebuilds it, you know. But they don't have to build the hands; they just use the powers. But anyway, yeah, this is just a generic, bland, boring, forgettable X-Men movie, and one of the worst X-Men films, and one of the worst superhero films out there, in my opinion. Is I'd rather watch Batman and Robin over this. You can say, oh, this film is overstuffed. It is. It's just too many characters, and it felt like it was just around the corner too fast. Felt like this movie came like that. It was almost like it was around the corner, and like they planned it too much ahead of time. You can plan it, but you need to take time making it. You know, it feels like they rushed this movie out there. Like 20th Century Fox was so desperate to make money, and Brian Singer was getting a check, so of course they're going to rush a budget and do what they can. Yeah, Deadpool only had a budget of $58 million. This had a budget of what? What was the budget? 178 million. And yet Deadpool made more money. Tells you a lot, of how to have a good story and do your movies the right way. I'm not saying we need a regular X-Men movie, but X-Men 1 and 2 work because they both had good stories. And I do like the score by John Ottoman. And some of the action scenes, especially the climax, are decent. Like I said, with Evan Peters and Quicksilver, punching, punching, using his super speed to punch Apocalypse a couple times. That was cool. But other than that, and Olivia Munson, her actions were decent, but again, nothing to her character. There's no character arc. She's just here to play villain. You know, they don't do anything with the character. So it's just like they're using it just, for eye candy. Like with Janet Jones, you're just throwing a beautiful woman in here just for the sake of it. I'm not saying a beautiful woman can't. No, I'm not saying she's terrible. Scarlett Johansson is great in the Marvel movies, but they give her character a little bit of arc and a little bit of it. They make her interesting. You can't just have a beautiful woman who's a beautiful actress, by the way, just throw her in there and not do nothing with her. Jennifer Lawrence looks bored in this film throughout. By the time we get Dark Phoenix, she just did not. You can just tell she did not give a crap. James McCoy, Mark Vanderbilt, don't like them. Oscar Isaac, I'll watch him anything else, even in the Adam Sandler movies where he looks like he's having fun voicing Gomez. But in this movie, he's just giving a bad performance, in my opinion. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think he had a bad experience on making this film, from what I've heard in some reviews. You know, if they didn't tell him what was going on, or they picked it, all that makeup was probably rough to put on. Maybe he didn't. It feels like he didn't have a good experience on this movie. Anyway, my rating for X Men Apocalypse, I'm gonna give this film thumbs down for X Men Apocalypse. My rating for this film is 1 out of 5 stars. So guys, in the comments down below, what do you think of X Men Apocalypse in your opinion? If you like it, that's fine. Let me know what you think about this movie in your opinion. Now remember, me not liking this movie should not affect how you feel about it. If you like it, I don't understand why, but more power to you. And what is some of your favorite X Men movie? What's your least favorite X Men movie? Mine, I would say, is this one. I'm thinking more probably Dark Phoenix is the worst X Men for me, and the best one is to me X2 X Men United. Do you agree with me that they shouldn't have done First Class in a prequel trilogy? That they should have just left that alone? And yeah, just what do you think of this movie in your opinion? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Yeah. Do you think it's an underrated movie in your opinion? Guys, you're always welcome to disagree with me. I'm not here to attack you. I'm just here to share. This is just my video, my opinion. That's all it is. It's just my YouTube channel. It's just my opinion, my point of view on a film. You know, don't take it the wrong way, okay? Anyway, for the next superhero review, like I said, let's see, it's this movie. Yeah, the next three reviews, starting with this second movie. Fourth one I have on Blu-ray here, 4K. The next one's going to be on Prime Video TV I have on here. And the last one movie will be in November. The last one will be a positive reviews though for 2016. So anyway, next time this is the sequel to the 2014 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. Again, produced by Michael Bay. This came out in 2016, and that will be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Out of the Shadows, which is a sequel to the 2014 film, which I hated. I don't remember hating the sequel, but I don't remember liking this movie. So who knows? Maybe my opinion will change. I don't know yet. But yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows will be next. So stay tuned for this. That is a sequel to the 2014 Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Turtles film. Well, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows will be next. So stay tuned for that today. And tomorrow, I'm hopefully thinking of doing two more reviews. And then hopefully on Monday, I'm off on Monday for work too. I am working next weekend, so you will not see me doing reviews next weekend. But Monday and Thursday, and I'm hoping on a Wednesday, I'll do a review too. But Monday will be the last 2016 review since I want to just go ahead and finish these movies off, you know. Yeah. And then we'll be having 3 more years to go. But guys, tell me come along. What do you think of X Men Apocalypse in your opinion? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Again, my rating for the film is 1 out of 5 stars and a thumbs down. And stay tuned for the next superhero 2010 superhero review. The next 2016 review that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows coming up next. So I did review Batman the Killing Joke, Batman Unlimited Max vs. Mutants, and Batman from the Cape Crusaders, and Batman Bad Blood. There are my DC reviews. Well, one is in Batman reviews as well if you want to know my reviews on those 2016 superhero films. Just in case you say, well, hey, Levi, you didn't review this, you didn't review this. I did, but on my other channel. But I did add them on this channel on the playlist for Batman and DC reviews. So, and I'll keep doing that too, guys. So, if you want to know my thoughts on those movies. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will exit. And I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.